Once upon a time, in a kingdom veiled by rolling hills and dense forests, there lived a young princess named Anneliese. Her beauty was as radiant as the dawn, but her gentleness and humility outshone even her royal lineage. Unlike many who lived in the castle, she treated all with kindness, whether they were lords or servants. Her mother, the wise and noble queen, loved her dearly and often said, "A heart as pure as yours will one day bring light to the darkest of places." One day, the queen informed her daughter that the time had come for her to marry. The chosen groom was Prince Aedric, the heir to a neighboring kingdom. Their union would not only strengthen the bond between their realms but also unite two noble hearts. The queen gave Anneliese a precious gift to protect her on the journey, a blood-red handkerchief imbued with a powerful spell. "This token," the queen said, "will keep you safe from harm. Guard it with your life." The queen also appointed a maidservant, Gerda, to accompany Anneliese. Gerda had served in the castle for many years, and while she performed her duties well, her heart harbored bitterness and envy. She despised the gap between her station and the princess's privilege, and with each passing year her resentment grew. Nevertheless, the queen trusted Gerda to guide her daughter safely to the prince's castle. The journey began under the golden rays of a summer morning. Anneliese rode atop a white mare, her silken robes shimmering in the sunlight. Gerda followed closely, her gaze dark and calculating. 4 days they traveled through sun-dappled woods and rolling meadows. Anneliese often sang to pass the time, her voice as sweet as a lark's song, but Gerda's responses grew curt and cold. One morning, as they stopped by a quiet stream to rest, Gerda made her move. She confronted Anneliese with a dagger in hand, her voice trembling with malice. "You will dismount and exchange places with me," Gerda demanded. "From this moment on I am the princess, and you are nothing but a lowly maid." Anneliese, though terrified, saw the resolve in Gerda's eyes and knew resistance would only lead to harm. She reluctantly obeyed, handing over her royal garments and the blood-red handkerchief. "Please," Anneliese pleaded, "do not harm me." But Gerda's only response was a cruel smile. When they reached Prince Aedric's castle, Gerda presented herself as the princess, her stolen finery lending credence to her lie. The court welcomed her with open arms, believing her to be the promised bride. Anneliese, stripped of her identity and dignity, was cast aside and given the lowly task of tending the geese in the royal pastures. The true princess was now nothing more than a goose girl. The royal pastures were vast and serene, bordered by whispering trees and a sparkling brook. Though her new life was harsh, Anneliese found solace among the geese. She befriended them, particularly a wise and loyal gander named Falada. Unknown to the court, Falada possessed the gift of speech. He had been a gift from the queen, a companion for Anneliese since childhood. Now he became her confidant and comforter. "Oh, Falada," Anneliese often whispered, tears streaking her face, "how can I endure this? My heart is heavy and my spirit feels broken." Falada would reply in his deep, soothing voice, "Do not despair, my princess. True nobility cannot be stolen. It shines through even the darkest rags. Your time will come." Meanwhile, Gerda lived in constant fear of discovery. Though she wore the crown and slept in a bed of silk, she was haunted by the knowledge of her deception. To silence any suspicion, she ordered Falada to be slaughtered. When Anneliese learned of this, she was devastated. She begged the butcher to spare Falada's head and nail it above the gate she passed each morning. "At least let me speak to him one last time," she implored. The butcher, moved by her sorrow, granted her request. From then on, each morning as Anneliese passed through the gate, she would say, "O Falada, hanging there," and the gander's head would reply, "O princess passing fair, if your mother knew your despair, her heart would break beyond repair." These words became a a reminder of her true identity and the love she had lost. Prince Aedric, a man of sharp intellect and kind heart, began to notice the goose girl. Her quiet grace and the sorrow in her eyes intrigued him. He often found excuses to visit the pastures, watching her as she tended the geese. One day he overheard her lamenting by the brook, her voice filled with longing and despair. Hidden behind a tree, he listened as she spoke of her stolen life and the blood-red handkerchief that was the key to her downfall. Shaken by her words, Aedric confronted her. "Tell me the truth," he demanded gently. "Who are you?" With tears streaming down her face, Anneliese told him everything, showing him the blood-red handkerchief she had kept hidden. Prince Aedric, moved by her honesty and the injustice she had suffered, devised a plan to expose the impostor. During a grand feast, Aedric presented a riddle to the court. He described Anneliese's plight but framed it as a hypothetical situation. "What punishment," he asked, "does such a traitor deserve?" Gerda, unaware that the riddle was about her, arrogantly declared, "Such a wretch should be sealed in a barrel lined with nails and dragged through the streets until death." "Then so it shall be," Aedric said, his voice thunderous. He revealed the true princess and ordered Gerda's punishment to match her own decree. The court was aghast, but no one dared object. Restored to her rightful place, Anneliese's coronation as the prince's bride was a celebration of justice and love. Her kindness and humility, even in the face of betrayal, had won the hearts of all who knew her story. Together she and Prince Aedric ruled with wisdom and compassion, their bond unshakable. As for Falada, though his life had ended, his loyalty lived on in Anneliese's memory. She had a statue erected in his honor, ensuring that his name would never be forgotten. The Goose Girl's tale became a legend, a reminder that true nobility lies not in titles or riches but in the strength of character and the courage to endure.